These mountains, I came here in '88. I'm interested in all wildlife, especially butterflies, which goes back to my grandfather collecting in England, and I've collected with my father in Africa and in New Guinea. Within a radius of Brisbane, this is probably about as good as it gets. The fire was not apparent to me. Apparently, if you went up to Binderborough, you could see it. And the fire brigade came in and said, "You must get prepared to go." And I said, "Well, why? There's no fire." And then about 5 o'clock, they said, "You've got to get out." I thought it was a false alarm. I thought, oh, these people are being super cautious and I'll spend the night in the car, it's fairly comfortable. But in the night, the fire brigade was quite right. It came up very, very quickly. Because it's at the top of a cliff, the house was burnt out by morning. The house was a complete wreck. It's always a shock. There was no rescuing the house. It obviously had to be another one. Then I just got on with it, how to get back quickly. A modular house is the quickest way to get in, and I was keen to get in. Checked out a few and then settled on Westbuilt.
My husband and I are members of Lamington Natural History Association, which provides the volunteer rangers for Lamington National Park, and Peter has been a long-standing member of that. The morning of the fire, I couldn't locate him anywhere, with lots of phone calls to everybody, no idea where he was. It was such a relief when we got the phone call in the afternoon. So my husband came up and got him, and it made us feel useful. So we've been really happy to help. My husband came across Westbuilt on the internet, and the lovely Wayne Sanderson arranged to meet us on site. By the end of that meeting, Peter had signed up. Couldn't believe it could be that simple.
That's where I owe so much to the boards. I mean, I can hardly use a computer. I'm a B4, born before the war and before bloody computers.
God, Pete, when you're sitting in your living room at night watching telly, you'll never forget this, will you, watching it come together?
The incredible process. Here's a house, I don't know, 12 metres long or something, and the posts it goes on, of course, they're all there, and it all fits, and they just bolt it up and say, well, there's the house. It's incredible how quickly it goes here, and of course how quickly they build it in Warwick.
Peter had a bit of a layout of the house that he wanted to put here. He wanted it higher than the last one so he can get that amazing view.
So I had the windows increased in size. That's the biggest single difference, I think. Westbuilt obviously knew what they were doing, and I think there's an extra one in the kitchen there. Light coloured floors. It's a light roof. It's not quite pure white, which you wouldn't want, but it's a lighthouse. I don't like to go into a cave.
This is the BAL 40 house, which is the second highest bushfire rating. Everything on the outside is non-flammable, but it also means that it's no maintenance. The doors are beautiful. The thermal glass that they used, it keeps the house snug and it keeps the house cool and quiet.
You don't know if it's raining, you've got to put your hand out the window.
With the thermal glass, yeah. Amazing stuff. Ted and I see Peter as an absolute miracle. He's almost 87 years old, and it's not even a year since everything, except for a couple of little things, were destroyed, and yet he's created a whole new life for himself, but it was certainly made a lot easier by Westbuilt. And to think that he was back in the house in under 7 months from the day of the fire.
Westbuilt Homes is the people who built this house, and Westbuilt Homes is the people I would have no hesitation in recommending to anybody.